Hello everyone, Nat New here, and today we're going to be watching a match of Mario plus Rabbids versus mode. This is a match I played against JaRoH. JaRoH is most well known within Mario and Rabbids for what he does in the lowest turn count challenge. You can find his information in the description, and however, we also play versus quite a bit if you've seen my channel's live stream history. And so, yeah, I'm just going to be talking. I'm just going to be talking through this match, going over what we did, why we did it, just to hopefully give people a better understanding of what versus mode is and how you play it, and all that kind of stuff. If you want to see how we played versus mode, that information will also be in the description. If you want to watch the live stream, the raw live stream, that is also going to be in the description. The description is probably very big at this point. But yeah, alright, so I guess let's just talk through this. I am player 1 on the left, he is player 2 on the right. Now, my team here is Explosive Red Mario, Multi-Draw Luigi, and Happy Fortune Yoshi. None of these characters are necessarily out of the ordinary. However, it isn't very common that I'd use Explosive Rabbid Mario in this kind of team. Because this is a Multi-Draw and Happy Fortune, they tend to be characters I use on a lot of high aggression, on a lot of like aggression or or like pressure kind of teams. Explosive Red Mario, although he looks like a very offensive character, I tend not to use him like that very often. And so I'm just trying to see, does he actually work on these kinds of teams? The big thing with Explosive is that he doesn't have a lot of the tools I'm used to. He doesn't have any kind of grenade duck or rocket like say Yoshi has, and he also doesn't have a reaction shot. So that means his pressure isn't nearly as good as some of the other offensive characters. Most notably Icy Peach, which is who I'd usually be using on this kind of team. However, his Magnet Dance can be really obnoxious to play around, and it can just open holes in defenses like no other. So I'm just seeing like, hey, can I make this work? Is he good in this type kind of team too? On the other side, this is JaRoH's team. We have Smacker Red Peach, Quick Draw Mario, and Multi Draw Luigi. Now, Quick Draw and Multi Draw are pretty typical. In fact, I even nicknamed this combo Double Draw, just for reasons I'll get into a bit later. So Smacker's a bit unusual. Smacker's a character neither of us really use very often in versus, particularly on this map. That's just because she, she can deal a lot. She is a pretty good 1v1er. She can, has a lot of survivability and decent enough damage output to 1v1 a lot of sets in the game. And she has a sentry that's always well appreciated. The problem is that's kind of all she has. Like, she really doesn't provide very much support in the earlier mid game, and by the time he gets to the end game, she's just kind of stuck. And she can also just have trouble getting in because other than the sentry, she doesn't really have any tools for getting in, and which is a problem because that's how she does most of her damage. So we tend to not use her very much on this map, especially on Make Haste Slowly. That map makes it very easy for her to get in, so she can be very devastating on that map. But we're actually playing on the first map, Pipe Up. So this is a bit of an unusual choice. And all right, so let's see how this works out. Oh yeah, I'm watching this video at double speed just because JaRoH was playing remotely, so his turns can take a bit longer than usual. All right, so coin flip, I go first. Oh yeah, something you might notice, there are no items on. That's just, that's how we play the game. We don't play with items because we don't like them. We don't feel they're super competitive. So yeah, as you can see, I go first. This is my starting loadout. We both opted to pick our teams so that multi-draw. We both opted to pick our teams so that multi-draw would have the have the middle slot, which is slightly closer to everything. Yeah, this is my opening. I very much practice this opening because I practice this team. This is the opening that seems to work best. Yeah, just have Red Mario and Yoshi go towards the center. This gives them both some. Yoshi both towards the center. This gives Red Mario a Magnet Dance. Remember, in versus mode, Magnet Dance is a raise to 10, so his Magnet Dance raise can hit a very large portion of the field from here. The fact that he's so close to the pipe is also helpful because he can now pull stuff through the pipe and they'll end up right next to him. So that's a good position to Magnet Dance. Additionally, Yoshi's over here on the right. The fact that I put him on the pipe side because the pipe gives him slightly better cover. So that, gives him slightly better cover. I really just wanted Red Mario near the pipe, so Yoshi just went on the other side. But having the slightly better cover is nice, so that, for example, he doesn't have any kind of grenade duck. He doesn't have any kind of freeze characters, but if he did, then they would be able to hit Yoshi. Then they'd be able to hit Red Mario with freeze sometimes because he only has a half cover. Yoshi, that can't happen because he has full cover. Yeah. But JaRoH doesn't have any of those characters right now. In fact, it's actually very unusual. The only character we have in this map that can freeze is Yoshi's Rocket, which does happen sometimes, but it's not super common. Either way, these two characters are mostly just going up here to, you just start pressuring, making, just start setting up, getting into position. And if you notice, I have Luigi use Steely Stare. This is a multi-draw Luigi, so his Steely Stare is extremely powerful. Basically, you do not want to move through this Steely Stare under any circumstance. It is ridiculous. It does like 70 to 80 damage off the top of my head. It also has a very high, over 65% crit rate or something, really very high crit rate. Chance of at least using bounce. So if you move through it, you're gonna take a lot of damage, and your movement might not even complete because you might get bounced before it ends. So that's multi-draw. Multi-draw is just a really, really good support tool because of that and other reasons. But yeah, right now JaRoH is looking at the range of my Steely Stare, wants to know where he can and can't go. He also has a multi-draw of his own, and again, he made sure the multi-draw is in the centerpiece, in the center. Yeah, because I went first and I activated Steely Stare, he has to figure out what he wants to do. Remember, he wants his Rabbid Peach to get in, so he wants this Rabbid Peach to get in, but he can't really do anything with Steely Stare immediately. The best tool he can use against Steely Stare is to throw a sentry into it, because the sentry will, use up the Steely Stare. However, he also needs a sentry target. He does have one, but another thing. Remember, in versus mode you only get 3 action tickets, and because you only get 3 action tickets, using the Steely Stare like this using a sentry to break a Steely Stare requires a full action ticket. That's one of your 3 very valuable action tickets. Now you only have 2 instead of 3. Now you can't set up as much. And if most of your tickets are spent just trying to break down whatever barriers your opponent put in place, then they're just going to have all the momentum, and it's just, it's going to be... Yeah, they're just going to have all the momentum, yeah. Oh, he's also looking at Magnet Dance. Magnet Dance, in versus mode, we use this a lot to pull characters that aren't even close to Rad Mario to begin with, just to pull them away from cover, force them to use action tickets to pull back into position. Each one of those action tickets they have to use to fix their position is another action ticket they can't use towards anything else. It's another momentum thing. This is why Rad Mario is so strong, even though a lot of offensive characters have him beat. Largely because of Magnet Dance. And he's a decent character in general, but Magnet Dance is really the reason why he's so good. Yeah, so JaRoH now has to play around both of those ranges, even though they are generally the same range right now. He just has to play around both of those things. And I just look at the range, where can he safely go? If you notice these pipes, they're pretty decent cover spots because they are far enough away to be outside of those ranges, but they are still pretty far away, so he doesn't necessarily want to stay there forever. And plus, there are only so many places he can go. He decides to move Smacker a little bit closer, just get her a little closer so he can start, doing stuff. And additionally, she is also potentially close enough to start throwing sentries to dislodge the reaction shots when he needs to do that later. So, yeah, just moving Rabbid Peach a little closer. Quick Draw Mario, he's also going to move him a little closer. This spot remember, multi-draw Steely Stare has a long range because it's range 15, because he has a long range primary weapon. However, Quick Draw, even though Quick Draw actually has a very similar reaction shot, but his is only range 10 because he has a shorter range primary. So Quick Draw has to be a little bit closer than multi-draw for his thing to be effective, and so multi-draw can basically stay there. Quick Draw should be a little closer, although for most practical purposes, this is close enough to at least threaten the center, whereas multi-draw can threaten a little further in the center, and then he uses his multi-draw. Another thing to mention is that Quick Draw and multi-draw's reaction shots have a 1-turn cooldown, so he can actually alternate between them, which means he always has at least one of them, which means moving for me is almost always going to be dangerous. But yeah, so he just pulls that there. So now I have to spend an action. So now I have to figure out how to get past this. Another thing to note is that's the Steelers there. Another thing to note is that I can use my sentry to break this, but only if Luigi has a viable target within range. The problem is his sentry targeting range is 15 felt, which is the same length as the Steely Stare. So unless he's already in the Steely Stare's range when Luigi uses it, it can be difficult to actually find a target. In this situation here, where all his characters are near the starting position, Luigi actually doesn't have any viable sentry targets if you look closely. Oh, well, he has one there, but He's not gonna have. Why is the quality so low? Yeah, I'm not sure why the quality is like this. Yeah. Anyway, I think see right here. Here he actually, yeah. I'm not entirely sure what's happening to quality. Sorry about that. But anyway, thing is, Rabbid Peach actually. Here's the thing with those cells. From that cell on the right, he can shoot. He can hit Mario and only Mario with the sentry. From the one on the left, he can hit only Rabbid Peach. Now Rabbid Peach is more likely to move, so I kind of wanted to go after Mario instead. However, another consideration I had is that if you look at the position of the pipes, if Luigi's on the left, this pipe is going to block his view, so the Steely Star isn't going to be able to hit very much. If he goes on the left, then he's going to have a much larger area to Steely Star through. So while he does target Rabbid Peach, who is more likely to move, and that's such probably going to be less likely to be effective, he is going to, be able to. That Steely Stare is going to be worth more later in the game. So eventually I decide it's going to be worth it, even though I can't Steely Stare this turn. Yeah. I only have 2 actions. I really have no interest in breaking the Steely Stare yet. I need to save this when I actually need it. So I'm just going to have Yoshi, get some chip damage with this rocket, just deal a little bit of damage to Luigi. Luigi doesn't have very much health, so getting any kind of damage on him is very nice. Yeah, quality fixed itself, that's good. Yeah. And Yoshi's rocket, 15 cells, matches Luigi's precision radius, very helpful. Rocket is very good in versus mode. Grenade can do the same thing in a lot of cases, especially since it hits behind cover, it's the main feature. Yeah. And finally, we have Egg Beater. Egg Beater is the only tame reaction shot in this entire battle because it does not have the recharge, it does not have the damage, and it doesn't have bounce. However, it's still a reaction shot, and it still has to be something that he has to consider when planning his moves. Yeah, this is Happy Fortune, so it can be kind of strong, but it's not very. It is a very inconsistent damage output of 17 to 90, of anywhere between 14 and 98. It's a pretty big range for damage, so. Yeah. Anyway, the options. Rabbid Peach does have a Smacker Rabbid Peach does have a sentry. The sentry does less damage than usual, but it has the same health as always, so she can just use it against whatever. Just looking at, and she can hit anything, so she can, yeah. This is actually even better to dislodge because this, depending on the damage roll, this can survive Yoshi's Egg Beater. So that means the sentry is still something that she can attack with, even after dodging the Egg Beater. Still something I have to deal with and could potentially get hit by. Or even just spend an action to get rid of. Yeah, that's what she decides to do. It does not deal enough damage to break the... I do not deal enough damage to break the sentry, so I will have to deal with the sentry later. And although this does break the reaction shot, he did have to spend a full action working around this. So he did have to spend a full action working around my Egg Beater, so mission accomplished. Now he only has 2 actions. He could still move Rabbid Peach in, but Rabbid Peach can't attack because she already used the sentry. So there's only really so much she can do. She can prepare on a future turn, but yeah. Another thing is that if she gets any closer, she now has to deal with the Magnet Dance. So her position is not secure if she decides to move in. Yeah. However, this is Rabbid Peach. She can do a lot of damage once she does get in, and Magnet Dance is going to help that if anything. So it's a double-edged sword. Going in it's both exactly what I want to do, is both exactly what he wants to do, and it's exactly what I want her to do. So it's a risky play for both of us. Well, especially him because he's the one deciding to do it. But yeah. JaRoH's moves are going to be a little slow because he was actually playing through Discord where he told me what move to do and I performed the move. Yeah, so his moves are going to be a little slow for most of the game. Well, the entire game. This is just how it works. Yeah. He does decide to move Rabbid Peach in, so things are about to start breaking. Yeah. Rabbid Peach does have a very strong shield, which she can use to prevent damage should anything happen, but decides to instead use Quick Draw's Hero Sight. Quick Draw doesn't have the range that Multi-Draw does, but that doesn't matter. It is enough range for me to be scared of it. Yeah. Now he's sentry here. The sentry I can very easily take out in a single action. Here's the question: do I care? Because as I've noticed, I could use Magnet Dance to pull Rabbid Peach within radius of both Rabbid Mario and Yoshi. I can use Magnet Dance And I can also use Luigi to trap Rabbid Peach after she moves. However, Magnet Dance is one action, trapping Rabbid Peach with Steely Stare is a second action. The third action is breaking the sentry. That's 3 actions. That means I can move Rabbid Peach out into the open, but I can't actually do anything to her yet. Because this is Smacker Rabbid Peach and she has a very strong shield, I kind of want to get damage on her while I still can. So, what... kind of want to get damage on her while I still can. Your options, oh yeah. Magnet, I viewed Quick Draw's Hero Sight range, not because I cared about what it was. In fact, it's actually not nearly as threatening as I thought it would be looking back. But not necessarily. But it does prevent me from doing anything, from running up to Rabbid Peach. But it doesn't stop my characters from moving around between each other. The big thing is that Hero Sight and Magnet Dance have the same radius. So by seeing that Rabbid Mario is not within Hero Sight radius, Mario is not within Rabbid Mario's Magnet Dance radius. That's really what I was checking here. Yeah. So that's something I have to consider. Now I'm just deciding what to do. If I decide not to get rid of the sentry, Rabbid Mario can actually hit Rabbid Peach with a pretty strong attack. With a 45 to 55 damage weapon, whereas a sentry is only 25 to 35. That is obviously in my favor damage-wise. Additionally, Rabbid Mario can heal with his critical strike, and which is if he gets a crit. However, the sentry's super effect is Honey, which isn't going to matter because Rabbid Mario isn't going to move. And finally, getting damage on Smacker is more valuable than getting damage on Explosive, I would think, because she has more ways to prevent damage than Rabbid Mario does. So generally, I decide that tanking the sentry is worth getting an extra hit on Rabbid Peach for. Yeah, I take the sentry, hit her with the boom shot. Both of them crit, but Rabbid Mario ends up with much more health than Rabbid Peach does. Ends up at 161 HP, whereas Rabbid Peach is already down to 104. They started with the same health. And Trapper with Steely Stare. Now, once again, he can just use a sentry to get out of the Steely Stare, but that is another that is just another ticket that is wasted. They can't use anything else for. And Rabbid Peach, like I said, Rabbid Peach kind of does want to use all of her tickets. She obviously wants to move, but her weapon has a very high crit rate with Honey, which she can use to stop me from running away, and she has a very powerful shield. So she ideally want to use all 3 of those, but she can't move unless JaRoH uses a sentry to break my Steely Stare, which it looks like he's going to try and do here. So once that happens, JaRoH now has to pick and choose what he wants his Smacker to do, and he does decide to use it. Yeah, something you'll actually see here. Even though Luigi only needs 2 shots to break the sentry, all 3 of them get used anyway. This is actually a bug that has been in the game for a while, where if a sentry activates a reaction shot that has multiple hits, and it gets destroyed before the reaction shot finishes, the reaction shot will use 1 extra hit against it. This is most notable with Steely Stare and with Multi-Draw Steely Stare and Quick Draw's Hero Sight, because they can actually break it with 1 shot to spare if they get lucky enough. However, this will guarantee that no matter what happens, a sentry will always use up all shots of both Quick Draw and Multi-Draw's reaction shots. Which honestly, thank goodness for this. Like, the entire game balance is hanging on this bug and not being patched out, because holy wow, these reaction shots are very devastating and can be difficult to play around without a sentry. If a sentry isn't even guaranteed to work against them, like is RNG based, whether it actually works against them, because it depends on damage rolls. Oh my gosh, this game would just be a nightmare. Ugh. Like, thank goodness. Anyway, regardless, that's 1 action. Rabbid Peach now has 2 actions left. Obviously, the very high chance she's just going to dash 2 characters. Yeah, Rabbid Peach is a double dash even in versus mode, so her dash is 40 power, so like I said, she is good at dealing damage. She just needs a lot of hits to do it. Yeah, there's that 40 damage. Tends to be good at 2v1s, like much better than you expect her to be, given her build. Yeah, and there's the shield. If you didn't see it, 60% weapon damage reduction, 60% movement damage reduction, 1 turn cooldown. This is a very, very powerful shield. One of the strongest in the game, in fact. Yeah, that's how I was really... Yeah, he opts not to attack, instead just get a little bit of dash damage off, and then pop a shield. The shield should largely protect her for at least a turn. For damage. She can get at least another turn on there. Yeah. So in other words, I want to get rid of the smacker because this smacker can deal some damage pretty quickly. However, that shield is going to make things kind of difficult. However, if I don't know if you caught this or not, but here's the thing: no reaction shot. He did not use a reaction shot against me, so I can move wherever I want, and I don't have to worry about that, at least for now. So yeah, yeah. All right, so I just gotta figure out what to do with this Rapid Peach. I probably can't knock her out because the shield is just too strong. But I might be able to limit her movement, just to limit her collateral damage for one turn. So I can just stall her for one turn, the shield goes away, and then I can, deal with her a little easier. Once that happens, I also get Magnet Dance back, and yeah. And also, Egg Beater comes back, so I have another option, and Steely's there. A lot of things come back so I can survive one more turn, but surviving that turn might be a little difficult. Now, I'm considering sending a sentry against her, because this sentry can limit where she can go, because if she moves anywhere through the sentry's radius, she gets hit. However, another thing to note is that this can also preemptively stop the reaction shots. Because because the sentry is always the first thing to, because if there's a sentry on the field, it will always be the first thing to move on your turn. So if I send out a sentry against something, and then he pops a reaction shot afterwards, the sentry will immediately run through the reaction shot. So it generally isn't worth using them on reaction shots like this. It generally isn't worth using reaction shots if there's a sentry already on the field, unless you can destroy the sentry. So this is rather So setting a sentry out preemptively is in some cases better than setting it out post, because you're not using an action to, Right now I'm just looking at, okay, can Yoshi go over there and get a clear shot in a Red Peach? He can do that, but because of the shield, it's not going to do very much. Like, even a critical Rumble Bang does, 50-ish damage. Actually, not, sorry, 50-ish. It's 50 off. It's just 30-something. It does a low amount of damage. Certainly not worth using Super Chance and Rumble Bang for. That's for a critical strike, remember. Yeah. Gotta figure out what to do. Her shield blocks movement damage too, unlike the main game. So, I have to worry about that as well. Oh yeah, it does block movement damage in the main game too, but not at the same rate. Here it does, because, I 60-60. Yeah. Here's another thing I'm considering. If Rabbid Mario goes over here, he does not have Magnet Dance yet. If Mario goes over here, then he can Magnet Dance both Mario and Luigi, pull them both out in the open. Now suddenly he's got these two characters exposed. He's been trying to keep them safe most of the game, and he might want to keep them that way. But Magnet Dance can just screw that up. Now here's actually a mistake that I make. I forget that Magnet Dance is on cooldown, so I can't actually use it this turn. That's something I screwed up. Oh well. However, I decided to come back and just, shoot Red Peach, because I can. Might as well get a little bit, because I only have a few actions left, might as well do something. Anyway, that's 2 actions, and use a sentry. As I was saying earlier, use a sentry against her to limit her movement. Yeah, and just take a little bit more damage off Red Peach. That's another critical strike, which means Red Mario heals a little more. That's kind of nice, because he's taking a bit of damage. Yeah. So now back to JaRoH's turn. Red Peach now has 78 HP. That's getting a little scary, because that's one hit KO range of a Super Chance Rumble Bang from Yoshi, or like a critical hammer for Rabbid Mario, or like a dash and some other combination of factors. This is getting kind of to be a scary-ish HP value. He does not have shield because he just used it, and and that sentry is aimed right at her. She doesn't have a whole ton of options left. Something I calculated is that he probably wants to do 4 things this turn. The first one is move Rabbid Peach so she's not immediately in danger zone. The other one is take out the sentry, which is going to require 2 action tickets. And then use another hero site so I can't, take out Rabbid Peach. So that I can't, just run after Rabbid Peach if she moves away. The problem is that requires 4 different action tickets. 2 for the sentry, 1 for movement, and 1 for the reaction shot. So as far as I'm concerned, something was going to have to give. Something I kind of overlooked is that although the sentry does stop her from going towards Luigi, it does not stop her from going to Yoshi or Rabbid Mario. So it wasn't. So the sentry isn't actually doing that much to limit her movement. It is definitely a looming threat that is gonna deal a decent amount of her HP that she's gonna have. However, it doesn't immediately limit her movement as much as, at least as much as I would like it to. Just looking at Red Mario, once again she has a double dash, so she can just dash both characters. At this point, her damage is starting to add up. Yoshi is gonna go. Yoshi is almost below half health, and Rabbid Mario, is going below 100. So damage is beginning to add up a little bit at least. Yeah, I neglected to use Bodyguard because explosive Rabbid Mario's Bodyguard is not very good. Like, it just isn't. Like, look at it, 10% weapon, 40% movement. That's barely anything. Anyway, so right now we're just considering the options. Yeah, just looking at these two. Oh yeah, something I forgot to mention. At this part, someone actually came into our chat and started talking to us, so this action is going to take a little bit longer than usual. In fact, I think at one point my Switch actually darkened the screen from inactivity because things took a little bit longer than they really should have. Yeah, I believe. Yeah, he's got 2 reaction shots online. Rabbid Peach just has a bunch. Rabbid Peach has some options on whole ton. Yeah. See. All right. Yeah. So okay. So now that's over. Anyway. Yeah. Another thing is that something JaRoH has to consider is how much longer is Rabbid Peach going to survive, because she is taking a decent amount of damage in 2 turns, and she's not going to have to shield this turn. So I can very easily just take her out if I spend a couple action tickets towards her. And so especially with the sentry, I might not even have to spend. I'll do all that much. Yeah, so is it time to for Rabbid Peach to just make her last stand, or is she going to survive a little longer? That's something he does have to consider. Well, now, thing is all skill sets have the same abilities. However, they're not all the same strength. So Rabbid Peach, because she's a Rabbid Peach set, she does have a healing ability attached to her. However, her heal isn't very strong in the Smacker set, intentionally so. Like, it's only a 10% heal, and it's a whopping 3-turn cooldown. It's barely anything. However, that is another option he has. He can try and use heal, which will at least get Rabbid Peach outside. Yeah. JaRoH is considering using the heal move here. Like, he's just checking, like, is the heal move able to heal Luigi? Because Luigi took damage earlier in the battle. It is, because Luigi is close enough for that heal to matter at 102 HP. Yeah. And Smacker Peach at 78. The heal isn't going to do much, but it is going to stop but it is going to be enough to stop Yoshi from just super chance rumble banging her. Because that's a verb. Because it's going to bring her up to 95 HP, whereas Yoshi's absolute maximum he can do to a single character in a single turn is 95 unless he gets a team jump. Or rather, is 94 unless he... Oh, yeah. She just straight up to shoot for Mario, 70% crit rate, so just whatever. 70% crit rate, so obviously gets the honey for 48 damage. Yeah, that's the thing. Rabbid Peach's strongest weapon is her 48 damage blaster, and yes, it has a high crit rate, I know. But the thing is, none of her weapons actually deal all that much damage. And she gets mainly her damage from just being able to hit over and over and over again, just surviving forever. And this is her 3rd turn, and she's trying to stare down 2 very strong she's trying to stare down 2 offensive characters. She's like, this is just how she goes. Yeah, so she managed to hit Rabbid Mario with the honey. I wasn't really planning on moving Rabbid Mario, so I'm not too concerned about the honey, at least not yet. Yeah. But another thing to note is that, like I said, he had 3 things he wanted to do if he wanted to preserve Rabbid Peach. Move her, take out the sentry, and use the reaction shot. He has done none of them, but he has still he's wasted an action ticket, so doesn't look like a whole ton's gonna work out. So it doesn't look. So it's getting even scarier for her. I got a little confused at this point. It's like, what is he doing? Like, okay, but it's not immediately useful. Use the heal as he was considered earlier. Just get a little bit of healing, not a whole time. But that's something to mention. He only has 1 action ticket left, and he has done nothing. And he has done very little to rectify the situation Rabbid Peach is in. That's why I was just confused. Yeah, but he actually does something really smart that I wasn't expecting here. He dashes both characters, as expected, but he lands right there. Like, right next to Yoshi. You know why? Yeah, showtime happens. This is why he does it. The sentry blows up Yoshi, too. just gets he can't stop the sentry. That much was clear. So he decided okay, if Red Peach is going down, Yoshi is going down with her. So just dealt even more damage. Like I did not consider that, and that was actually really smart in his part. So yeah. Now Showtime has happened. All the cover is now one hit away from breaking, and some of the cover, which was previously trapped explosive cover, has now revealed itself. As you can see, Multi-Draw has actually been hiding behind an ice cover this whole time, which is kind of funny. But whatever, that might come into play later. We'll see. Yeah. So now, Rabbid Peach actually did a lot of damage to my characters. Rabbid Peach did a total of 88 damage to Rabbid Mario, and 80-ish damage to Yoshi as well. So my team is starting to run low on health. Rabbid Mario has 46, Yoshi has 59, Yoshi has 59. That's a pretty sizable damage. Rabbid Peach probably isn't going to last much longer, because she only has 59 health left. But you know what? She did a pretty good job. The other team might be able to... But you know what? She did her part. She did a lot of damage to my team, and she did a lot of damage to my team. And those two, Quick and Multi-Draw, they're not the best offensively, but they have a lot of good stuff. They might be able to clean up the rest. Yeah. So I'm just wondering, like, okay, I need to get rid of Smack Red Peach this turn. What's the best way to do it? I could have just used Super Chance plus Rebel Bang. Problem is that's 2 actions. Like, is that Luigi can shoot her? That is 1 action, but it's not guaranteed to work. Luigi needs a critical hit, and his crit rate is only 30%. Yeah. And also, even if I do that, what am I going to do afterwards? Like, that doesn't change the situation I'm in. Rabbid Mario is just stuck. Yeah, Rabbid Mario is stuck. Like I said, I didn't think the honey would be a huge deal, but now that Rabbid Mario doesn't have much health left, I'm about to go up to a 3, I might want to move him away. Remember, once the turn count hits 0, if the turn count hits 0, the game will time out, and the winner is whoever has more characters left on the field. If I take out Rabbid Peach, I now have the advantage at 3-2. So if I can just hide for the rest of the battle and win. Is that likely to work? No. But what it is likely to do is force him into an awkward position trying to assault my characters, which I can then take advantage of. So that is something that I'm considering. Another thing I'm considering is that I can just use Explosives Magnet Dance to pull these 2 in and then just shoot them, pulling them away from cover, dealing some damage. Red Mario probably isn't going to last much longer if I do that. But the main issue with that is that Red Peach might require 2 action tickets to go down depending on Luigi's RNG. So it's all gonna. So if I can't one-hit KO her, then I won't be able to do that. Those are the two paths I'm considering right at this moment. And all depends on whether or not this all depends, and whether I even have that choice depends on whether or not Luigi gets the critical strike. But he does. Okay, so now I have 2 action tickets left. Like I said, I have 2 options. The first one is the Magnet Dance and then shoot them. That's the more aggressive option. The more defensive option is for Yoshi to team jump off Rabbid Mario, pull him backwards. The big thing I'm noticing is that the big thing I did see is that pulling them away from cover that does some immediate damage, but I'm kind of giving up my 3-2 lead very early on. And sure, it might not last forever anyway, but I thought I could. But I was thinking, like, hey, if I move Rabbid Mario back, I might be able to get a little more out of this. It's a little risky because the benefit isn't as immediate. But I don't know. Maybe I can just. That's what I was considering. Like, I got the crit, so I had the option to do either one. I wasn't entirely sure what to do. Yeah, moving Rabbid Mario back. Oh yeah, moving Rabbid Mario back requires team jumping off of him to get rid of the honey, and then team jumping him to a more secure location. Yeah, I'm just deciding, like, what do I do? Do I go for the more aggressive option, or do I just cut my losses here, or do I just or do I just save Rabbid Mario and try and find a better opportunity? Remember, I don't have Steely there this turn, but I might have it next turn, so I could just really make life tough for him for advancing. The only problem is I need to survive 1 turn where I don't have any inhibitors for him getting close to me. But he is pretty far away, so I didn't think that was a huge deal. In the end, I decided to just move Rabbid Mario away. In the end, I decided to team jump to clear the honey, and then move Rabbid Mario away. I figured this was the slightly safer option. I figured this was a slightly safer option because I just wasn't convinced that the benefit of shooting both of them was worth losing Rabbid Mario over. That was my thought process, really, at least. Yeah, even though I have the character advantage, I might even though I do have the am up 3 to 2, I do have a bit of a problem where my characters have a lot less HP than his do. So I am probably closer to losing, even though I am winning in the immediate term. Yeah, move Red Mario back. Yeah, Red Mario might not do a whole ton from this position, but that Mountain Dance can still be deadly. Alright, now he's fighting 2v3. He does know he has to eventually take out one of my characters because of that turn limit. However, he has to figure out the best way to do it without putting him in too much danger. Remember, the whole reason I'm doing this is to force him to go into a dangerous position to take out my characters. So he has to figure out how to take out my characters without going into that dangerous position. Like I said, I don't think. Yeah, as far as I could tell, I didn't think he could make it all the way to Red Mario in one turn, just because at least my character's in one turn. Like, he had to go pretty far. Yeah, you can't shoot anything, which means everything's out of hero sight radius. Yeah, yeah. Kind of sort of stuff. Now, he does think he can get rid of Red Mario though. Wants to know he does think he can get rid of Red Mario this turn. Something to remember is that, like I said, these aren't the best characters. These two characters aren't the best offensively, but they do have some very nice offensive tools. Mario obviously has his hammer, like his hammer, just very strong weapon, and he also has M Power, which isn't the greatest in versus mode because a full ticket just to increase damage a little bit, but decent damage. But it can deal some pretty heavy damage, especially in combination with the hammer. Luigi, well, his precision is a lot stronger than it should be. For some reason, they buffed his precision in versus mode, so it does the same damage as the boom shot. I don't know why they did that, but they did. Yeah, so Luigi can also deal some sizable damage, and their reaction shots can also be used very aggressively to just lock opponents down in front of them fleeing. Their reaction shots both have a ton of versatility. So that's one of the reasons why they're both strong. He ends up deciding to move Luigi a bit closer. Obviously, he has to get in somehow, so moves Luigi a little closer. And yeah, can't do it. So, sorry. He decides to have Red Mario jump off Luigi, then team jump off of Yoshi. This allows him to get all the way into my team in one action, which is something which I did not see. This is a mistake on my end. I should have seen that he was able to go pretty far in one turn, but I didn't. And now, well, he can actually go pretty far. The question is, what's it going to do with this? So I team jump right next to Red Mario, and then use the hammer for the KO. Since the hammer does a minimum damage of 55, Red Mario has 46 HP. This is a guaranteed KO if he uses the hammer right here. Or he can go for the blaster and hope for RNG. Doesn't take a chance, just goes to the hammer and KO. Alright, he is immediately... JaRoH has, within a single turn, immediately evened up the score 2-2. Now, this is a problem for me, because my main advantage is I had an extra character than he did. However, that's no longer the case, and he has an HP lead over me, like by a pretty significant margin actually, because Yoshi doesn't have much health at all. However, I do have one saving grace. In order to KO Mario, he had to leave Mario wide open. This is exactly what I was hoping for. That in trying to take on my characters, he would leave his own character wide open. Both Yoshi and Luigi have clear shots at Mario. Now my question is, okay, I have Mario. What am I going to do to him? Let's see. Remember, Yoshi has super chance, so he can have a 100% crit rate very easily. So Yoshi can use super chance, destroy Mario hit Mario with a Rumble Bang, and then Luigi can hit Mario with his precision. That's going to deal 84 plus 66 damage equals 150 damage. That is a ridiculous amount of damage to deal in one turn, especially to a single character. Now, the problem is, that's not a kill shot. Mario has 170 HP, and that would only deal 150. A little unfortunate, but that is a lot of damage, and it does leave Mario inked. So that does mean he can't use his weapon next turn. Now, another option, here I'm counting, does the bounce get him out of bounds? Because if the bounce because the bounce can land him out of bounds, that's 180 damage, and that would be a kill strike. Unfortunately, Mario is one cell too far away for that to be a KO. For the bounce to knock him out of bounds. A little unfortunate. Okay, so I'm dealing with the 150. Now there is another option I saw, and that was to use Super Chance, Steely Stare, and then Precision. Now, Super Chance does work on the Steely Stare. Yeah. So how it works is that Luigi hits with the Steely Stare, critical hit bounce, hits with the Precision, critical hit bounce, triggers the Steely Stare gets 3 hits on him, and then Mario bounces out of bounds. Now, the Steely Stare plus all 3 hits does 99 plus 66 damage. That is 165 damage. That is 165 damage. That is still not a kill shot, annoyingly. Now, something I forgot is that this would actually bounce Mario out of bounds because the extra shots would hit Mario a little bit farther. So, mistake on my part. But another thing which I did consider, which has screwed both me and JaRoH over in the past, is that if you bounce someone away from Luigi using a Steely Stare bounce someone away from Luigi using that would trigger a Steely Stare, all 3 shots aren't necessarily going to connect. In this case, because Mario is very close to the edge, the early shots of both the bounce and the Steely Stare could very easily hit Mario out of Steely Stare radius. That's what I was really worried about. It would just hit Mario outside the radius, and not all 3 shots would connect. In which case, I just have a partial Steely Stare, and Mario ends up with even more HP and doesn't have ink. Even if that hits out of bounds, the only way this could really be beneficial for me is if I get the only way the Steely Stare option could be better is if I get all 3 hits on Mario, which I did not think was guaranteed. And especially since, like I said, I didn't consider they would go out of bounds, so as far as I was concerned, neither of them would be a kill strike, even though that wasn't actually true. Yeah, so I used Super Chance and just played safe. I just settled for the 150 plus ink, and go from there. Okay, still 2v2, but I've evened up the HP advantage, at least mostly. But I've evened up the HP advantage, and now Mario's inked, so he can't immediately deal damage in retaliation. Alright, that's nice, but another problem I had is that Yoshi doesn't have a whole lot of health, so he might be able to take out Yoshi next turn depending on what he does. Once again, he does not want to endanger himself to do it, obviously, especially since he doesn't have to anymore now that he's even the score. Yeah. This sentry, he actually asked me what the damage numbers are on the sentry. Luigi's sentry does 35 to 45 with a critical hit. It does 54. So this is enough to knock out Yoshi, but so this is a damage range to knock out Yoshi. It's not guaranteed to. It's like I want to say it's under 50%. It's under 50%, but I don't know the exact numbers. I tend to calculate this as like a 40-ish% chance. Yeah. However, even if the sentry doesn't knock out Yoshi, it will leave him with, at best, 9 HP. Mario's Quick Draw Mario's dash is 10 damage, which is a pitifully weak dash, but in this case, it would be just enough to take out Yoshi. So, yeah. So he can use that as a backup plan. In fact, Mario can get to Yoshi using this pipe. Yeah, and even if he goes through the pipe, he is also and even if Mario goes through the pipe, he is also capable of just going over here, which hides himself from Luigi. Luigi is obviously my last character, so that's the character he has to worry about the most. We both know this is eventually going to come down to a Luigi versus Luigi standoff, but having Mario around is going to make things a heck of a ton easier. For him, and I'll explain why later. But he is considering just going here. He's actually considering doing this even before Luigi uses the sentry. He doesn't necessarily have to, but this is just a generally decent spot for Mario, so he might just want to do that. Another thing he could do is if he moves Luigi to over here, right next to the stone slab, he actually can just get a clear shot on Yoshi, whereas Luigi still can't hit him. And because we got a clear shot on Yoshi with his precision, which the precision is a guaranteed KO because its minimum damage is 45. I don't think he was considering that, but that is something he could do. Oh yeah, if Mario goes here, Sentry won't hit him, so don't worry about that. At least, his own Sentry won't hit him if he sends after Yoshi. So he's just deciding what to do. figures, is this necessarily the best spot for Mario? The thing is, however, something he eventually realizes is that if the Sentry KOs Yoshi, he doesn't need to put Mario here, and he can put Mario somewhere else. This is a decent spot for Mario, but this isn't a great spot for Mario. Yeah. And so he uses the Sentry, and as I mildly spoiled, critical strike. Yoshi's dead. Alright, so now he has a lot more freedom where to put Mario. For me, this is really, really bad. Because he just has to park Mario just wherever, just really far away from Luigi. Now I'm the one down in characters, 1 to 2. So I have to figure out a way to take out Mario within 5 turns, while also 1v1ing a multi-draw. Remember, his multi-draw has the exact same abilities that mine does. So it's going to be really hard. So gaining an advantage over him can be pretty difficult. And he has his quick draw to help. And if I don't KO that quick draw quickly, I'm not worried about the turn limit. We could just park his quick draw really close to me, or just far away, and do that. However, another thing is that he might not want to do that, because he might just fall into the same trap I did, where he pretty easily where I just very easily take out the quick draw, and that's the end of that. And now it's just a 1v1, and so another thing he could do is try and bring quick draw in closer, just to get some quick and immediate advantage out of it, and just get the quick and immediate advantage out of him, and then just win the 1v1 from an advantageous position, which can be kind of tough, which can be kind of tough for me to come back from. Those are really his 2 options. He said later on that he actually, now he's just, deciding, looking at place Mario could go. One thing he said is that he actually wasn't paying much attention to the turn limit, so, which is a bit unfortunate, but whatever. So because he wasn't paying attention to the turn limit, he didn't really consider just hiding Mario. Like, he wasn't entirely sure, what benefit that would necessarily grant him. Like I said, so what he ends up doing is being more aggressive and going after Luigi. Now, he decides to go to this cell. This is a pretty decent. This is a solid cell to be, because although Luigi, he goes here. He actually has a clear shot at Luigi from this cell, which is something neither of us expected. But overall, this is a pretty good cell, because he can shoot Luigi. Luigi cannot shoot him, and even though it is within Luigi's movement radius, and Mario does have 20 health, so Mario is going to get KO'd by a dash attack. He can use Hero Sight to stop that, and then I'm forced to use a Sentry, and the Sentry is going to blow up on top of me. I'm going to lose health. So he decides to go over here. Now the question is, does he use Hero Sight for Mario or Steely Stare for Luigi? He opts to. Mario is probably the smarter play here, just because Mario isn't going to last much longer, and so he could save his Luigi's reaction shot, and he ends up going for it. And here's the thing. As far as, here's the thing. I'm still concerned that he's just going to move Mario away, and then I'm just going to have to go after him, and then just, he's going to move Mario away, I'm going to have to chase after him, and then, it's going to be a major problem, because then I'm going to be harassed by Luigi this entire time, and eventually I'll get Mario, but then I'm just going to be at significantly lower HP, and I'm just going to get picked off. I'm like, I need to get rid of this Mario right now while I still can. Like I said, this Mario is within dash radius, so I just need to walk up to the guy. Of course, he uses a Hero Sight, so I can't exactly just walk through it. But what I can do is send a Sentry through it. Something I alluded to earlier is that if I did use a Sentry, what would happen to the Sentry is that because Mario can see Luigi, Mario would just immediately shoot the Sentry, which would blow up right next to Luigi. And because Luigi is still within the Sentry's radius, because it got destroyed so quickly, it would actually damage Luigi. So using a Sentry here would take out the reaction shot, but I take some HP and recoil, which is kind of a problem because Luigi doesn't have much health. And going into the Luigi versus Luigi battle where my Luigi has less health, that's not particularly ideal. I'm gonna be honest. At the same time, though, it was really the best I could come up with. It was really the best I could come up with. Because I wanted to get rid of this Mario really quickly, and if I didn't, it would be big trouble. Losing, going down the HP wars, I mean, that's bad, but it's something I can that's something I can still recover from if I play well enough. And so ultimately, I said, you know what, it's worth it, just do it. Yeah, so this is something. Yeah, so Mario didn't blow up. Mario waited until the sentry went through the pipe in order to take it out. That's actually something. That's not something he expected. He expected to, like I said, blow up next to Luigi, and that's something I expected too. But sentries are a little weird in this game. I guess it's moving. I guess maybe you don't immediately. I guess because it was moving to a cell that Mario doesn't have a clear shot on, and the pipe, just does its thing. Because it was moving to a cell that Mario doesn't have a clear shot on, maybe Mario hesitated to shoot, and then suddenly it's out of sight, and then he just blinks and it's out of sight. A little unfortunate. So now Mario shoots the sentry when it's all the way over here. He does knock it out, but it doesn't damage Luigi, which, heck yeah, that's really good for me. Because now we can go into the 1v1 at an even HP values. At least that was my plan. At least that's what we can do. Yeah, just take out Mario. Yeah, he didn't consider that I can just dash and take out Mario, so that's why he put Mario so close. And now it's an even 1v1. Now, like I said, I was really worried he would just pull Mario away. JaRoH wasn't considering doing that, but that might have been the slightly better play here. But regardless, that's all in the past. At this point, it's just a multi-draw Luigi versus multi-draw Luigi 1v1. I have 120 HP. He has 114 HP. Pretty even. Yeah. I start off with a Steely Stare. Now he doesn't have a whole lot of options here. He can't shoot me because I'm behind full cover. His sentry's on cooldown, so I can't use it to stop the Steely Stare. And he can't move, because if he does, the Steely Stare is just going to destroy his life. And so now, the Itchy Feet isn't going to help him, so he doesn't really have a whole lot of options. The good news is he does have half cover, so he is somewhat protected from what I can do. This is kind of scary for him. At least he is in the immediate term. He's trapped. So there. Looks at my Steely Stare. Yeah, confirms that yes, Luigi is within Steely Stare radius, so he does have to be scared of it. And so he just decides to use Steely Stare and pass turn. There's not much else he can do, honestly. I mean, the thing is, because we each have 3 action tickets, action tickets effectively don't matter anymore. It's just we can both move, we both have 1 weapon, and we both can use our technique once. That's just really the big deal. Yeah. Use the Steely Stare. Now, I can't move, but that's not really a big deal for me, because I can just shoot him. Even though it's half cover in the way, I can still try and hit him, see what happens. Nope. Yeah. JaRoH was actually complaining about luck earlier in the battle, because I got 2 back-to-back Vamp crits, and I got a bounce crit to take out Rabbid Peach. However, he was also getting fairly lucky at times, especially with that sentry. And after I missed that half cover shot, he said, "Alright, I have no excuse to complain about luck anymore." I thought that was a little funny. But either way, there's not really much else I can do. I can move as long as I stay out of sight of Luigi, which, however, I don't really have anywhere useful to go. I'm just making so yeah, skip past turn. Now, one of Luigi's abilities that hasn't come into play yet is Itchy Feet, where Luigi can use Itchy Feet to increase his movement radius from 6 to 10. The catch is that aside from it being a technique and having a cooldown, Luigi can't use Itchy Feet and Steely Stare in the same turn, because they're both techniques. So, yeah, this is a 1v1. The big thing about 1v1s is that you want to make sure you're using your resources at the right time. Luigi has a lot of good resources, such as he's got the Sentry, he's got the Steely Stare, and he's got the Itchy Feet, but they're all on cooldowns. So you have to make sure to use the right one at the right time. You also have to make sure the momentum is in your favor. That one's a little harder to explain. Basically, you want to make sure that you're the one that you have the same resources. So you want to make sure that you're the one forcing your opponent to waste them, and your opponent isn't forcing you to waste them. Obviously, it's going to go back and forth a little bit. But yeah, that's really how 1v1 works. Really how 1v1's going to work. Luigi's just looking at all of his options. Just where he can go, where he can go. Now, JaRoH tends to play these JaRoH tends to play these 1v1s a bit more aggressively than I do. He just tries to like go in and just cut off all my options, whereas I try and just preserve whatever options I can and only go in when I know I can gain advantage from it. Yeah. That is a little bit differently how we play these. That is a slight difference in how we play these 1v1s. Yeah. Right now he's just looking at, what are his options. Yeah. I don't know if that's the best description of how we do, of what our playstyles are, but whatever, we're gonna roll with it. Yeah. Another big thing is making sure that because this map you can just kind of go anywhere, especially with itchy feet. You want to make sure you set your character up in such a way that they can, go through like multiple pipes at once, either follow the other one wherever they go, or has an escape route that the opponent can't match. Yeah. Luigi decides to go there. He doesn't need itchy feet to move this square, so he can save it for a later turn, conserving resources. Yeah, he's trying to just lock me in the corner, just cut off my escape route so he can just slowly chip me down. Yeah. Another thing is the sentry. Luigi actually doesn't have very many good options for getting rid of the sentry. It can destroy his Steely Stare, but he really wants to use that Steely Stare for more than just getting rid of a sentry. Now, he can shoot the sentry. However, Luigi's precision only has a 30% chance of knocking out the sentry, because he needs a critical strike. So throwing a sentry can kind of put your opponent in a tough spot. So that's really what he's looking for here. Ideally, the sentry would hit me, but that's not always realistic. However, this does put me in a tough spot. Additionally, if I use my sentry against his sentry, that means I'm not using my sentry against his Steely Stare. So, yeah, just gotta juggle that. Make sure you're using your stuff at the right time. Ultimately, he does decide to use that sentry. There's not really much else for him to do, so he just passes turn. And now it's my turn. Yeah. So now, Luigi's best option with dealing with sentries is to throw a sentry at the other Luigi, and that passes through the sentry's path. Because what this does is that the enemy sentry will notice there's something within its radius and blow up. However, Luigi's sentry, because it's still your sentry, because it's still moving, won't do this. So it will just take some damage. This damage isn't great because it does mean that Luigi can just shoot it with a precision and knock it out guaranteed this time. However, it does get rid of the sentry, and it is a projectile you can still use against your opponent. Like, you can still get value out of it. Yeah, and this one's actually cutting off his movement. This is basically forcing him to shoot if he ever wants to come through this area. And if he doesn't want to come through this area, he probably should still shoot it, that way the sentry doesn't deal damage to him. Because any damage matters at this point. Because we only have 120 health, and neither of us have a healing move. Anyway. So right now I'm just looking at where he can go. He can go through both of these pipes. So, however, he can go through both these pipes, and if he shoots the sentry, he can come towards Luigi. Yeah. My main concern is it possible for him to get a clear shot on Luigi? Where can I go that will prevent him from getting a shot on Luigi where I can't shoot him back? That's really what I'm worried about. Is there a place he can go where he can shoot Luigi, but I can't shoot him back? And right now there aren't any good positions where Luigi can go to where that happens. If he uses Itchy Feet, there are a few more. But even still, like, he's going to have to use his precision to break this sentry. I can just lock him in with Steely Stare afterwards. If he isn't going to shoot this turn, and he can hide behind these covers, but he can hide behind these covers, but I can also just run away if he doesn't use Steely Stare, and he can't use Itchy Feet and Steely Stare. So as far as I can tell, if Luigi stays right here, the only place that he can shoot Luigi, but I can't hit him back, that he can actually go to without using Itchy Feet, is behind the vamp cover, which I was very sure he was not going to do because the vamp cover is way too dangerous. So I thought this was a pretty good thing. Now I'm looking where he can go with Itchy Feet, but I decide that it really isn't worth considering. If he can shoot me somewhere with Itchy Feet, and yeah, there are some positions he can go to that would make my life annoying. But at the same time, he can't immediately shoot. I can just run around. I can hide. I can do whatever, all sorts of things. And even I'll have my Steely Stare next turn. So I can just, lock him in. I can just lock him into whatever BAP position he chooses if he does decide to do that. Just, looking at some places he can places. Another thing I did decide is Oh yeah. Here's also something else that was there. Because I'm probably going to use Steely Star next turn, I decided to use Itchy Feet this turn. One's in cooldown, so there's no reason not to use it now. And get a dash on him. This is 20 damage. Not much, but all damage matters. Another thing is that I was considering going behind this brick as well. Because this brick also has similar properties where can't shoot him unless he can, where he can't shoot me unless I can hit him back. Yeah. Oh yeah. Another thing is that you see me counting here. This is like if he goes all the way over in the top right in the top right, is Luigi far enough away where even a precision shot won't be able to hit me if I go all the way to the left here? And the answer is not really. No. I'd have to I want to be at this corner piece with the gray cover where I could peer around the cover, but still get its protection. And he would have to, and the question is, if he was at the other gray cover, would he be able to shoot Luigi? As it turns out, yes. Yes. There is absolutely no margin for error, but it is within 15 cells, and he can hit Luigi from there. That's just what I was counting out. Like, is a thing that can happen. Anyway, yeah, I'd have to go past the cover. I would just like, yeah, there aren't really too many good squares over there, because there's almost always something that can hit him. Like, so I was still back and forth between either the brick cover or just staying where I am, and eventually I just decided to have Luigi just go where he is. I can walk through my own sentries radius without problems, but he cannot do the same. This is my sentry. Yeah. Now with his turn, the Itchy Feet does affect the sentries. That doesn't increase its movement radius, not that it really matters. I literally have never seen that matter, but in theory it could. Anyway, now we're just trying to figure out what to do. His HP is a bit lower, so he does want to pressure me into, his HP is a bit lower, and he does kind of want to pressure me a bit. He can't use his sentry, but he does have everything else. So he will probably have to shoot his sentry. He will probably have to shoot his sentry against mine. Now he is looking at this area. This area is more immediately, threatening to me because he can just go around the gray cover, just do all kinds of stuff with that. But the problem is he can't go all the way to the gray thing, so he can't fully use its protection against me. Yeah. So you're just looking at a few options. Yeah, hang on, just taking a second to buffer. Yeah, just looking at his options. He knows he has to shoot the sentry, because otherwise the sentry's just going to harass him, and it's not like he's going to shoot me anyway. Yeah. Still looking at where he's going. Hang on a second. Alright. Okay, this is recording, right? Yeah, it should be. Anyway, so we have... Alright. So, sentry, hang on. Recording software's glitching a bit. Whatever. Anyway, so just need to give it a little bit of time. Anyway, so now Luigi still needs to decide where to go. Now, here's something I actually didn't expect, because I've never seen any of us do this. So I've never seen anyone do this before, let alone JaRoH. Where this cell right here actually does give him some partial protection. It basically any line of sight that goes through the gray brick, which is a decent amount of them, gets out of sight shot, so I can't even shoot him. And it also prevents Luigi from getting hit by rockets, etc. However, I don't have a rocket. That's not really all that useful to him, but it does work. I don't know if it prevents grenade ducks. I don't think it does, but we'll see. But who knows? Anyway, however, the big thing is this prevents me from shooting him with precision, even if I'm in like anywhere in this top area here. And sure, ideally he'd be against the cover, but A, he can't reach the cover, so that's a moot point, and B, this does give him some line of sight to the left here, so he can use Steely Stare to try and prevent me from going to the left. And if I ever go to the left to try and get around the cover and shoot him, he can just shoot me back. Funny, fun that can happen. Whatever. Oh yeah. So eventually he does end up going there. Yeah. There's a Steely Stare. If he uses Steely Stare, he can kind of prevent me from going to the left, which I probably am not going to go. which he does. He probably does want to stop me from going to, because I can go next to half cover and shoot him. Then he only has half cover shot at me at best. So he doesn't really want me to go over there, but he does use a shot and then use Steely Stare. There, I can still move around this top area because the Steely Stare isn't hitting me there, but I cannot move to anywhere I can shoot Luigi. Because by definition, anywhere I can see Luigi is a place. Anywhere I can see his Luigi is a place where his Luigi can see me. And you know, I don't want to be seen by his. I don't want to be seen by his Luigi. Otherwise, I just get blasted with that Steely Stare. And that's basically, if I run that Steely Stare, I'm basically throwing the game at this point. So I need to figure out a way to. I need to figure out what to do. I can't shoot Luigi, and if I can't shoot Luigi. If I had Itchy Feet active, I could run around this corner, get into this corner thing with the gray cover, and hit around the corner, shoot Luigi like that. He wouldn't be able to see me, so that's the only reasonable place I can go to, thanks to the out of sight stuff. Unfortunately, I don't have. I just use Itchy Feet, so I don't have that option. So I have to. So I can't shoot him this turn. So I can't shoot him immediately. And however, he will have Itchy Feet next turn. So I need to worry about, like, okay, once again, is there anywhere he can shoot me? I won't be able to shoot him back. Yeah, another good thing about this position is that you have several pipe options. All three of the pipes that he's next to, Luigi can enter, which significantly increases his movement radius. And the pipe in the bottom right, he can enter that one too. Great. So now Luigi just has a massive, massive movement radius. This is another key with these 1v1. Just making sure your movement radii just making sure you can either chase. Just making sure you can be where you want to be. Like, he doesn't even need to use. Remember, he doesn't even need to use Itchy Feet to do this. This is insane. Ugh. Anyway, so I'm just trying to figure out how can I be safe from all of this at once. There aren't really many options. I'm trying. Okay, Okay. Another thing is that I don't have my Sentry. Great. And I also don't have Itchy Feet, but I do have Steely there, so I can at least stall him out for one turn. Now this cell right here does seem like the most promising cell I could find. The only way he can reach this cell is if he goes through this is if he goes to the pipe that Luigi's next to and then hides behind this almost broken half cover. However, that's kind of risky for him. Because I'm gonna break the half cover, just lock him in with Steely Stare. However, I can just break the half cover and lock him in with Steely Stare if Steely Stare is still active, and then just shoot him next turn. Sure, he might get some shots on me, but I get shots on him, and he has lower health. Well, kind of risky for him, especially if I get a critical strike, because if I get a critical strike, I win the game on the spot, because that will trigger my own Steely Stare. So that's a little. So yeah, this is just me confirming that no, I really can't go anywhere because that Steely Stare is locking me in this area. Yeah. This does sound like the better option. I can also go against the stone cover. However, the stone cover does give him a few angles where he can shoot at me. He won't be able to lock me in, but I might be able to use Steely Stare to stop him from going here. And now here's the real question. And so now I can just use Steely Stare to stop him from coming anywhere close to me. Just mill turn, let him do whatever he wants next turn. You know, he won't be able to do Steely Stare next turn either. Yeah. So what can? And I might be able to even send a sentry after him next turn, but I opt not to. The reason I opt not to is because number one, resources. You want to save your resources, and I did not constantly want to be using my Steely Stare in response to his Steely Stare. Like, I wanted to kind of have the advantage a little bit. Additionally, I also didn't think it was super necessary because, like I said, there weren't really any good cells he could go to that I could follow him to, other than like this cell on the right over here, and that cell on the right over there. And truthfully, I just didn't see that because he needs to and that cell on the right over there, and I could just break the cover, use my Steely Stare to lock him in, and then just shoot him next turn. Now but I can only do that because I saved my Steely Stare this turn. So I didn't think it was super necessary to use Steely Stare this turn, and I kind of wanted to, just gain some momentum back, have my Steely Stare when I want to use it, not just in response to him. Like, I'm already using my Sentry in response to him. Using my Steely Stare in response to him also isn't great. Yeah. Now he has to try and figure out what to do. I got Steely Stare, so he has to be scared of that. He can use Itchy Feet, but there isn't anywhere really he wants to go. He does have a Sentry, so he can pressure me with that. But I can just send my sentry in response. Now, here's the annoying thing about sentries. If the sentry went through the pipe on the left, it actually would be able to hit Luigi because he could just go through the pipe, exit out of the pipe, 3 pipe exit radius, hit Luigi. But the sentry doesn't take the pipe for some reason. Whatever. We're not fully sure why sentries do things the way they do. Whatever. The sentries they just kind of have a mind of their own sometimes. Sentry hits here. This is still a good place for a sentry, even though it doesn't immediately hit me. It's still like, what else? What am I gonna do to stop this thing? Like, shoot another sentry? What am I gonna do to stop this thing other than just using my own sentry, which I don't really want to do, but I might just have to. Anyway, he can use this to just lock me in. Just yeah. Alright, so let's see what. So even though this isn't immediate damage, it does still hit me, and it's still a problem that I have to deal with. Yeah. So should I turn down the quality so I just don't buffer as much? Yeah, I'm skipping through it a bit more now that we're in the 1v1 section, but yeah, whatever. Anyway, so that's his thing. He doesn't have Steely's there, so he does know I could just move away from this sentry. And yeah. Now, eventually, one thing he's looking at is he asked me, "Hey, what is the targeting radius of the sentry? How big is that?" It's 15 cells, same as the precision. And here I am, and here I'm just showing him that yes, the sentry and the precision have the same radius technically, have the same targeting radius. Now he was going to do something that I once again was not expecting him to do. And the reason he asked that is because he's like, okay, like I said, Luigi's best tool against the sentry is to send the sentry at the other Luigi. But if the other Luigi isn't within targeting range, you can't do that. So now he's wondering, is it reasonable to get outside of my Luigi's targeting range so that I can't send the sentry at his other sentry, which even further limits what I can do against the sentry, because that just removes Luigi's best option. That's what he was considering as well. So that's what he was considering. I guess movement radius. Alright, look. Does this movement radius? What's movement radius look like over here? This is what it looks like. Yeah. Anyway. Oh yes, yeah, so I missed it. He actually used Itchy Feet. I skipped over it a little bit, but he used Itchy Feet to increase the movement radius even more. And so, here's what he ends up doing. He sent his sentry at me, which, as expected, goes over there. Gosh, I skipped over a lot of stuff. Alright. So, first off, he sends his sentry at me, as expected. Next up, he uses Itchy Feet. This increases movement radius. Now I'm within his movement radius, so he can't actually dash me this time. And he ends up going all the way over there. The reason why he does that, oh yeah, sudden death. We have hit the 10-turn limit, so now anyone who's up a character wins instantly. Unfortunately, we both have one character left, and so it's just next KO wins. But because we only have one character, this basically doesn't mean anything for us, which is why I haven't mentioned it in a while. Which is why I haven't mentioned the turn limit in a while. Once it's down to a 1v1, the turn limit stops mattering. Anyway, here's the thing. If I send the sentry at the other Luigi, it does not go through this sentry's radius, so I can't do what I've been trying to do. I can't do what I've been trying to do. Now, the best way to get rid of a sentry in this position is to send my sentry. Okay. Well, I was thinking, like, can I go through this pipe and just ignore the sentry? The answer is no, because I clipped the sentry's radius slightly. Yeah. My best thing to do is to actually send my like, okay, can I get away from this thing? Another thing I'm considering is that I really don't want to deal with this. Can I just run away? Like, if I can use my Itchy Feet and go through the pipe in the top right just to get on the other side over there. And if I do that, now I'm not dealing with the sentry, but I could send my sentry against him, and we both have sentries on the field. That means neither of us can use Steely Stare, because the sentry's, it's just going to break on the sentry. Now, this is a problem. Now this is a very weird 1v1 situation where you both have sentries on the field and can't use our Steely Stares. And to tell the truth, and while I was considering this isn't a 1v1 situation I practice very much, where I'm comfortable doing these multi-draw endgames because I practice them so much. I use multi-draw a lot, so I have to do these endgames a lot, so I just will practice with them. Oh yeah, little shortcut here. Here's just a little shortcut. I'm looking at Itchy Feet's radius. Luigi's movement radius after using Itchy Feet is range 10, and the Itchy Feet radius is also range 10. So I'm using this to approximate where Luigi can move. And so you see me, I do these little shortcuts a lot, just like I did earlier with the Magnet Dance and Hero Fight. Looking at okay, can I dash his Luigi? No. Okay, can I get to the other pipe? Can I get to the other pipe though? Yes. Okay. I wasn't the most comfortable doing a weird 1v1 like this. Like doing a regular 1v1, yeah, I can handle this. Even though I'm yeah. Now I'm seeing can I throw a sentry at him? The answer is yes. Yeah, I wasn't the most comfortable doing that, but I also know he wasn't very comfortable doing that either, because he doesn't do these endgames as often as I do, because he doesn't use multi-draw as often. So I knew he was probably less comfortable doing that, and this was a weird situation that I don't think either of us were prepared for. Yeah, this is a weird thing to do. Just not destroy the sentry next to me and throw a sentry next to him instead. Now we can't, and just ugh. This does require using This does require using my Itchy Feet, but not really a big deal. I choose Itchy Feet, run to the other side, shoot him. Yeah. And so ultimately what I decide to do is this cover. Yeah. I look at this thing hey, does this provide any? Yeah. So ultimately what I end up deciding to do after debating with myself, I can just shoot the sentry, but that only has a 30% chance of working. Yeah. Ultimately, what I decide to do is to once again, play it safe. Throw my sentry at the other sentry. Now, this does work. This does destroy his sentry. The problem is that because the sentry's target has been destroyed, the sentry will stop moving. So this sentry is not going to be very useful to me for basically the rest of the battle. So I basically just nullified both of our sentries. But this does turn it into a regular 1v1, which I was more confident I could win. This was less of a wild card than the other one. And and as far as I could tell, I still didn't think there was a clear winner, so I was okay with just accepting that, yeah, this is how the 1v1's gonna go. Now he does have to worry about that. Now yeah. And so now he's trying to, play around my Steely Stare, as per usual. Now, I am blocking him from... Now, I'm not blocking him from heading to the left. He has full control of doing that. But I am blocking him from moving to the right. So that also means I'm blocking him from going into the pipe, being in the middle area. So he does have a decent area where he can move, but there isn't really anywhere useful he can move. That's really the concern. However, he does have Steely... He does have Steely Stare, though. So if he finds a good position, he can, use that. So he uses Steely Stare and then skips turn. Okay, so obviously he didn't think he could get it, so he didn't think he could get a better position out of that, and he just wanted to try and keep me over here. Because he's positioned next to the pipe, there is a large blind spot in that Steely Stare, so I actually do have a pretty decent radius to move into. I think I can move next to this pipe and probably be fine, and I can move all the way to the other side of the stone slab and be fine. In fact, I can almost also move pretty much anywhere to the left and probably be out of sight because of that pipe. Yeah, so this isn't preventing me from going in this area very much, and plus he used his Steely Stare in response to mine, so that does change the momentum a little bit. Now here's something I'm actually doing right here. I'm considering going to this square. This might not look like it, but this is actually bait. This is kind of a bait I'm trying to do. Now if he goes to the bottom right, he doesn't have it now. The thing is, if he goes to the middle area or he goes to the top area, he might think he has If he goes to the middle area, we can both shoot each other. He goes to the top area, it looks like he can shoot me and I can't shoot him back, which is the thing I've been trying to prevent this whole time. But that's not actually true. Or rather, however, there is one however, yeah, this is another thing. Yeah. I'm also considering this square because similar reasons. However, I realize he can just stand next to the other pipe and then shoot me. I'm like, yeah, no. Yeah. Thing is, if he goes to the top left corner and shoots me, I can just enter the pipe, dash him, activate my Steely Stare, and shoot him. So I can just deal damage to him faster than he can deal damage to me. So it's overall a benefit for me if he does that. I wasn't... Yeah, and yeah, I'm just counting squares again. Yeah, so if I go over here, if he goes into the middle, I'm fine with that. If he goes to the middle, I'm fine with that. If he goes up here, I can actually gain advantage. And, okay, so what if he uses Itchy Feet and goes to the bottom right section? Well, here's the thing. Remember that sentry that just kind of gets nullified? It's occupying this square right here. And this square right here is the square he would need in order to peer around the corner and attack me. So he will not be able to get this cover of protection if I go down here. So while the sentry doesn't immediately... So he will not be able to get that cover protection he goes down here. So there's really no safe place for him to hit Luigi over here. And the only safe place that looks like it might be a safe place is in the top left. Which obviously is a trap. Which is a trap I set for him. So I just go there and like, okay, is he going to fall for it? No, he is. Now, he is pretty smart, but, I mean, we'll see what happens. Alright. Yeah. Just, you know. Yeah, now he's just looking at the situation. Looks at Steve's receiver. I can now enter all 4 pipes, same as him earlier. Decent reuse where you can enter all these pipes. Which is a bit of a problem, because like I said, basically nothing on the left is safe. And if I go over here, he can't use Steely Stare to stop me, so I can more or less follow him a lot of where he goes. Is kind of the issue. And my Steely Stare is going to recharge first. So if he goes somewhere vulnerable, I can just stop him. He has his sentry online, and he does have Itchy Feet online. So he does have some nice tools at his disposal, though. Just trying to figure out, like, okay, what do? I do think he sees that going to the top left is not advantageous for him. Or I do think he sees that. So he is considering throwing the sentry at me. Now this, same, which, once again, it's not going to damage me, but it is going to block off part of my movement, which I'll have to deal with when my turn comes around. Yeah. But once again, he wants to try and kind of do the thing earlier, where this is using Itchy Feet. What he wanted me to do is hover over Itchy Feet and then check his movement radius. This will actually show the character's movement radius after Itchy Feet is used. And it is actually more accurate than the Itchy Feet approximation. They both work. I prefer to do the shortcut. He prefers to do regular. Okay. Anyway, so you're like, okay, if he does this, then he can dash me. I don't have Steely Stare up, so he can just straight up just dash me here. So, yeah. So he can get another 20 damage on me, which means he'll actually take the HP advantage here. Right now we're 100 to 94. If he dashes me, that'll be 94 to 80. He'll have the slight advantage. So he does decide to do that, but he doesn't do it yet because he still has to decide where he wants to go after the dash. Now he doesn't want to leave me a good path to throw the sentry, but he doesn't want to leave me a good path to throw the sentry. But there isn't really anywhere he could go that's particularly great. Where he doesn't have Steely Stare to stop me, so he has to just go somewhere I can't follow, and there aren't very many places like that. He's looking like, okay, can I go here to hide around the big brick cover? The answer is not really, because like I said, that sentry's there, and is blocking the one good square he had over here. So I guess I do get some use out of that sentry. Oh yeah, like I said, that sentry was part of the reason I went over here to begin with, so it's not like it was a lucky break. Yeah, so he sends sentry and gets Luigi. That prevents Luigi from going to the right half of the map without using his weapon to slot the sentry, and potentially even more so if Luigi moves out of the range, so I can't just moves away, so I can't have a sentry go through the other sentry's path. So he doesn't want to dash. He wants to dash Luigi, but he's trying to figure out, where the best place to go is. He's thinking like, okay, if I move to the other side of the map, I might be able to be in a situation where he thinks he might be able to just straight up outrange my Luigi's sentry radius, because he is pretty far away and he doesn't have a lot of movement, so he can so he might be able to just straight up outrange my Luigi. That is something he can do. And then he was asking to look for squares over here. This is in the direct opposite corner of the map from my Luigi. So if he was gonna outrange me, this would be the place to do it. And and then he eventually asked me to verify Luigi's shots. Like, is this actually, out of range? So what he did was he asked me to dash Luigi and look at, does Luigi have a clear shot at Luigi from this area? Or at least stuff in this area. And the answer was yes. As you can see, Luigi, normally you'd have like the 100%, 50%, 0%, or add a sight symbol against my Luigi. Because there's no symbol at all, that means Luigi's not a legal target. Which means you managed to outrange Luigi's precision. Right? Which that the two Luigi are far enough that precisions can't hit each other, which means the sentries also can't target each other. This would do that. Yeah. And so he decides to just end up in this area, but look at what square he goes to. He ends up going to this cell. This cell has the same giant brick protection as earlier, because it does give him some pretty solid protection from a lot of the areas. It does give him some pretty solid protection, and it does allow him to shoot some areas, but it doesn't fully protect him. It's the thing. Right. This is the same thing he used earlier, so it makes perfect sense he's doing it again. Alright, and so I have a sentry to deal with. I cannot use my sentry against him, because he's out of range. That much is very clear to me. And I'm just looking at, where can I go? I can go over here. I'm within range if I go over there, but there aren't any good cells over there, and I can't shoot him anyway. And they're out of sight shot, so it's not like I can get a direct Steely Stare hit on or anything. Alright. And if I go through this pipe, this is very interesting. Because something you'll notice is that if I go through this pipe, I actually get a clear line of sight on his Luigi right here. This is pretty good for me, because like I said, if you can see someone, you can hit them with the Steely. If I get a direct shot on them, I can hit them with not only my precision, but also I can fully trap them with Steely Stare. So yeah, he tried to use this giant brick cover to give him protection, but it doesn't look like it really worked out all that well. Alright, yeah. Itchy Feet, does Itchy Feet seem to help me very much? Not really, especially since I want to use my movement rate, especially since I want to use my Steely Stare this turn anyway. The other thing is that I have to figure out how to get rid of the sentry. I can't target him, but I can use the same sentry targeting mechanism I did earlier. That's going to waste my attack slot though. Yeah. I'm thinking like, okay, if I go over here, can I shoot him? I think I was able to... Can I shoot him? Because I can, but I don't really have protection over there. That's not a great option. If I went around the pipe, like I said earlier, I would definitely have protection. Yeah, 100% shot. So yeah, I break his sentry with my sentry. This uses up my attack slot, so I can't shoot at him. But I can still use Steely Stare. Now suddenly he's in a lot more trouble, because he can't go anywhere because of my Steely Stare. Because a direct line of sight, then he's really just stuck here. And he doesn't have a sentry to break my Steely Stare. So what's he gonna? He doesn't have a sentry to break my Steely Stare, because he just used it. So he really has no options. He is in my direct line of sight, and he can't even move out of it. However, there is a catch. Remember earlier when the sentry moved? However, there was a catch. Remember when the sentry moved? Remember when the same situation happened earlier with the sentry? The sentry was able to move slightly to get just out of range, just out of the line of sight of my Steely Stare, right before Mario, just outside of the hero sight, right before Mario was able to shoot it. And so that situation might also happen here, because I can just barely see Luigi. So he might. So that also might work, but a Steely Stare just might not work. Yeah. Right now, he's just thinking like, okay, I cut off a lot of his options here. So he's just trying to think like, okay, how do I get out of this? Looking at like, yeah, Steely's Dare radius, yeah, no, well within range of Steely's Dare. There's not really anywhere he can reasonably go to get outside of it. And so here's what he thinks. He thinks that if he immediately goes to the cover, I can't see behind this cover. I just can't. So if he thinks he can immediately go past this cover, he will be able to stay out of sight the whole time, like I did earlier. Yeah, that's what his plan is. And once he goes around this corner, he can also, use his Steely Stare to trap me, in theory, use his Steely Stare to trap me, and then, just get control. Just use his Steely Stare to trap me, and then once I'm there, he can, like, throw a sentry at me, which, you could just, like, throw a sentry at me, shoot me, go somewhere else, just do all kinds of stuff. Anyway, that is his plan. However, here's the thing. He moves, so here's the question. Is he actually safe? Does he actually avoid the Steely Stare? No! I am able to hit him. I can only get 2 hits off because he does move out into cover pretty quickly. But I still get 2 hits off, which is really big. Because now he's at 46 HP. Remember, Luigi's minimum damage with the precision is 45. It can deal as much as 55. This is 1-hit KO range. At least, it's not guaranteed 1-hit KO range, but it's very high chance of 1-hit KO range. This is really bad for him. So I just need 1 clean shot, and he's probably dead. Yeah. So things are swinging to my favor a lot more now. Yeah. He can't shoot Luigi. He can't shoot Luigi from here. But what he can do is use Steely Stare to prevent him from going anywhere. Now, yeah, can't shoot Luigi. You can't use Steely Stare to prevent me from running away. Here's the thing. I'm in basically the same situation. I'm in a very similar situation to him. I have nowhere to go. Although I'm not in his direct line of sight, so it's not as immediately dangerous. At the same time, I can't shoot him. I can't use my sentry to block the Steely Stare. I can't use my own Steely Stare in retaliation. I can't move anywhere, and I can't shoot him. None of these. I have literally no option other than to just stay still. Unless I want to move that Steely Stare, which would be throwing the game. So I kind of just have to stay still and hope nothing bad happens. Alright, so he has me just stuck. I was not able to go anywhere good. So let's see what he can take advantage of, Mina. So let's see what he can do in response to that now. Now, something he doesn't notice is that a sentry from this position just directly hits me. Like, there's none of this, like, it blocks my movement. No, he just straight up damages Luigi. And this can be a bit of a problem, because this sentry is going to put me in KO range now. Even if minimum damage 35 will leave Luigi with 45 health, that's still 1-hit KO range. So this sentry will even the score. Sure, I might have turn advantage, but this will even the HP score. To make matters worse, if this sentry crits, I can't shoot him in retaliation. So I need to at least last 1 more turn. And that's big, because he just used Steely Stare. He doesn't have Steely Stare this turn. So I can use Itchy Feet, just run up to him and shoot him. But if I get inked, I will not be able to do that, and I'll need to find another opportunity to get in. So whether or not this inks could actually decide the game right here. Like, if I don't get inked, I'm very likely to win. If I do get inked, I'm in big trouble. So hold your breath. No ink. Like I said, this is really good for me because he doesn't have very many other options to run away. Like, where's he gonna run away to? I can just use Itchy Feet and chase after him. He's stuck in the corner. Like, I don't need to care. Remember, I don't need to care about my own safety. Just 1 shot and he's dead. It's like, I don't need to worry about, like, oh, he can shoot me in retaliation. No, I just need to shoot him and that's game over. Now, okay, uses Itchy Feet, gives himself a few more options here. So, this is mostly his radius. Now, the issue is that if I use my own Itchy Feet and then run, I can shoot basically this entire radius. You see here, I'm just outside his radius, which means my max movement radius is just outside. Which means my max movement radius is just outside. His movement is just outside where he is right now. However, this is still bad because it means I can peek around basically both of these stone bricks, and even the brick cover. I can go around basically all of it. This is just kind of bad. for yeah. Yeah. So he's really running low on options. His one saving grace is that this isn't a guaranteed kill shot. If I get my minimum damage roll of 45, he can survive one hit, and he probably can kill me in retaliation. However, this doesn't apply if I am able to dash him first, so he has to stay outside of my dash radius no matter what. I can't use Steely Stare, and ideally I'd want to use Steely Stare, which I didn't use last turn because I was stuck. So if I can use Steely Stare, get into a safe spot, and then shoot him, I can also just win like that, because he won't be able to do much in response. I can, sentry break. He won't be able, basically won't be able to do anything in response. I'll have him trapped in the same situation I had him trapped in last time. So he just needs to find somewhere where I can't do those things, and then just hope I get the minimum damage roll. That's really his only option at this point. So let's see what he decides. He decides, like, okay, if he goes over there to he checks, like, hey, do I have a clear shot at Luigi from over here? Yes, which means I have a clear shot of him. Okay, yeah. That's problematic. So, yeah. So, like, is it worth going over there? Decides, okay, well, if this cell isn't any good, I might as well just stay where I am. Luigi can't dash me. I can't dash him in a starting radius, and I also don't think I can get anywhere safe. Yeah, look at this race. I can't get anywhere safe that can actually shoot him. It's deceptive because I'm using the approximation. Yeah, that's where my movement is. There's basically nowhere I can shoot Luigi where he can't shoot me back, other than around this bend right here. The problem is I can only reach that bend if I use Itchy Feet, so I wouldn't be able to Steely Stare to trap him in. And I can't dash no matter what, even if I do use a GP. Because he did prevent both those outcomes. He did prevent both those outcomes. I can just straight up shoot him, and I can just use Steely Stare for fun, because this battle is about to end. Like, straight up, this battle is about to end. There's no way we can last much. There's no way either of us can last much longer. Well, rather, I can also back up, try and get a slightly more advantageous situation, but, like, I have a 90+% chance of knocking him out. Like, it's not worth, like, it really isn't worth much it really isn't worth the try. So I just decide, you know what? Let's go for it. I use Itchy Feet, enter this pipe, get a clear shot on him. It all comes down to this. If this hits, if this takes him out, I win the game. If I survive, he wins the game on the spot. He can just run up to me, shoot me point blank. So it all comes down to, does this knock him out? Critical strike, game over. Whew. And that's that. That is the battle. 1-0 overtime 5 victory. This is our longest match in a while, just because that 1v1 was going on for so long. Phew. Yeah. There's some more discussion of this there's some more discussion of this in the Discord channel, which is going to be linked below. There's a lot of stuff linked below. Yeah. But it basically just comes down to, I did screw up a bit in the beginning where I wanted his Smack Herrera Peach to come in, even though it really wasn't the best option for me in general because his Smacker was just so strong. Additionally, I probably should have just used Magnet Dance to pull in his quick and multi-draw and just shoot them point blank instead of moving Rabbid Mario backwards. That was another mistake I made. So yeah, that's just, yeah, I could have played that better. But during the 1v1, if he was more cautious with using his Mario, yeah, then Mario would have survived a bit longer, and then things would have been like really south for me. Yeah, like I said, and also just selling for the 150 plus ink, was that necessarily the best option? I don't know, but yeah, we didn't necessarily play the best, but yeah, that was just a very nice high-level battle of Mario and Rabbids at the moment. Smacker, this is the first battle where Smacker actually did really well, even though he did end up losing. Smacker, that was definitely not her fault. Smacker did really well for him on this map, so yeah, that worked out well. My team could probably use a little bit of tinkering. I think I did well too. Obviously, I won, but yeah, I want to tinker with that a little bit. And yeah, that's the match. Like I said, basically all the information you could want is in the description. So, yeah. Thanks for watching, I guess.